fragile.
At this time, I'll call the meeting of the Marshall City Council to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone here this evening. We have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to that agenda? We'll operate under that agenda. The first item then would be to consider the approval of the minutes of the meetings that were held on October 28th. The council does have in their packets the minutes of those meetings. Are there any corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Motion by Craig, seconded by Amanda to approve the minutes as they have been presented. We'll move to a vote. And we'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. We'll move then right into the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda this evening include consider an ordinance amending Chapter 70, Article 2, to transfer collection and enforcement of the lodging tax to the Minnesota Department of Revenue, the introduction of an ordinance amending the limits on registrations, the introduction of the ordinance amending the permit to move into residential districts, the introduction of the ordinance amending the height modifications and yard modifications. Consider the approval of temporary liquor license for Marshall Area Chamber of Commerce. Consider the approval of raffle permit for the Shades of the Past. Consider the approval of the lease agreement with Lutheran Social Services. Consider the amendment to the family and medical leave policy in the personnel policy manual. The project of North High Street, North 4th to Oak reconstruction project. The action will be consider the resolution receiving the feasibility report and calling for a hearing on the improvement. The project of the main lift station renovation project. Consider the authorization to advertise for bids. And then finally, consider the approval of the bills and the project payment. So is there any item on the consent agenda any member wants removed for separate discussion?
7, please.
Agenda item number 7. Any other item? If not, is there a motion for the approval of the remaining items on the consent agenda with the exception of number 7?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jim, seconded by C. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. And we'll close the voting.
Mayor Burns, your vote's not registering?
No, she was didn't last time.
I'll do it again. Now we'll close the voting.
Really? It looks good.
Didn't.
It says it's been accepted.
I like Amanda's Liam. Is that what you did in high school too, Amanda? That looks good. Sorry.
No.
He's in IT.
Everyone was looking
Oh,
at
she's an IT. Oh, everybody's looking at mine.
He's our council member IT specialist, so.
Craig's sitting over there silent on this one.
Things were going so good, too.
They were.
Yep, just when you think you got it going your way.
Just going slow.
Jib's just glad it wasn't him.
What's Stephen want to do to get into the meeting?
He'll get his.
Oh, it should log in, but it looks like it. There it goes. Oh, that's why.
Craig Schaefer.
Craig.
What did I do? He
Switched
logged
to
in as
you
me.
from last time.
Oh,
Was that the last meeting?
because
No, we've met since.
Since
weird.
Want to go back?
You didn't get the memo, did you, Bob?
That's what we're gonna tell you.
we did voice vote last time. We did.
Awkward.
We did voice votes last time.
Bob wants to be like
That's
Craig.
Missed
Oh.
one meeting.
I told you, Bob, I got things started.
We would have dealt with this last time.
Okay, do it now.
Oh, there you go.
The country again, Bob.
Yes, that's what you get for going to Ireland.
So you were getting 2 votes.
Now we'll close the voting.
Yay.
Early and often. I just
So
needed,
then we'll move to agenda item number 7. You just wanted to
need
abstain?
to abstain.
Okay. So agenda item number 7 is the raffle permit for the Shades to Pass. Is there a motion?
Second.
Amanda, seconded by Jim. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. Close the voting. And the motion passes, one note there, one abstention. Agenda item number 13 then is the charter amendments to introduce the proposed charter amendments and call for a public hearing to be held on December 9th. I believe Pam is with us. City Attorney Pam Whitmore.
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so the Charter Commission met and has some recommendations by ordinance. That's one of the ways that the state law allows for cities to amend their ordinances. There were some changes in the legislative session related to how cities can publish notice, and that was one of the changes that we're incorporating into the proposed charter amendment. Also, there was some inconsistencies with the city charter between that and the state law related to open meetings. And so that was remedied by these proposed charter amendments, as well as some alignment of election dates that were addressed when the legislature changed how they set, what dates special elections can be set for. So staff is proposing the adoption of that recommendation from the Charter Commission.
Thank you, City Attorney Whitmore. Amanda is a member of the Charter Commission. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, not really. I mean, everything was fairly simple and complying with updates. Nothing too controversial.
So are there questions the council has?
Mr. Mayor, I should point out that the one change that was not reflected from a state law change is adding the option for the city to be able to sell property by resolution or ordinance. It streamlines and it decreases the cost for the city. It streamlines process for those sales, and it also allows the city to have just a cleaner record of those. Just to note, it does not take away the required hearing for if it's property owned by EDA, that still has to have a hearing under state law.
Okay,
For
thank
just-
you. Any questions, council has?
Well, from what I understand, this is just a call for the public hearing, not actually change the charter at this time, correct?
That is correct. To introduce the proposed amendments, and then the separate action would be called for the public hearing. So
This has to be done in 2 amendments or can it be done in 1?
I think it would be appropriate to have 2 motions here.
Yeah, I would make a motion to introduce the proposed charter amendments.
Motion by Jim, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by John. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. And then the second action would be to call for the public hearing. That will be held on December 9th.
Make a motion.
Motion by Amanda, seconded by Craig. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. Okay, agenda item number 14 is the proposal for the stormwater model updates and the analysis from Bolton and Mink Incorporated. I'll call on Jason Anderson, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Thank you, Mayor. City staff reached out to Bolton and Mink for a proposal to do some review, first to update our stormwater model that's around 5 years old, incorporate changes that have occurred over the past 5 years due to construction projects, and then to allocate some time to running some scenarios and trying to review a few locations for future project opportunities. We've had some recent high rain events that have given us some things to think about, and we'd like to analyze them in the model. That helps us identify proper cost benefit of a project to make sure that we're going to get a good bang for the buck and a good return on a project. We do have a proposal in the packet for $46,200, not to exceed. We did not bring this to PIT committee like we normally would. I did reach out to the committee and ask if we could bring it right to council. If it's the will of the council to move forward with this, we would like to start sooner than later to start evaluating some of these improvements. This evaluation commits us to no projects. Once we get this going, we'll certainly bring a report back to the PIT committee and discuss more about future opportunities that may come about from this study.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Input or questions from the council?
Sure, and just to go a little bit more on what Jason said, he did send a very detailed information email to the members of the PIT committee, and then we email queried that, and everyone was in agreement that this is worthy of moving it forward. Everybody answered in the affirmative.
Very good. Thank you, Greg.
I said, thank you for clarifying that, Craig, because otherwise I would have, yes.
Yeah.
Jason did do his due diligence off to us.
Yeah, very detailed explanation of what we're looking for, and it fits in very well with, I think, with what the city would want to do.
Questions the council has? If not, you have the recommendation. I would entertain a motion.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion by Craig, seconded by Jim. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. Close the voting. And the motion passes. Agenda item number 15 is the instrument landing system replacement for runway 12. Consider the final payment estimate, number 4. Once again, Jason.
Thank you, Mayor. The ILS project is substantially complete. The system's not currently online because it's awaiting flight check from the FAA. As soon as the government is up and running again, they can get that scheduled and we'll get it checked and put into service. But the project is done and waiting to be put into service. Final tally on the project, this was a $581,306 project if you consider all engineering and construction fees. Local participation was 30% of that cost. This final pay app is $20,472.14, which results in a final construction contract amount of $409,442.88. So we're just under budget by a little under $2,000.
Very good. Is there any estimate on time when the FAA will do the certification and testing?
Yeah, our consultant, TKDA, believes 3 to 4 weeks to get it scheduled and taken care of once the government starts again.
So until that happens, it's not usable?
Correct.
Craig?
So Jason, in case that when the MnDOT Aviation comes out and does their certification flights, if there's a problem, that's on the contractor. There's no potential for us to get a surprise amended invoice, correct? No change order?
I think that'd be really unlikely. We're very confident that it'll pass all checks.
Okay.
Questions? If not, I would entertain a motion on paying the final pay estimate.
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Craig,
Second.
seconded by John. Discussion? If there's no discussion, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion passes. Agenda item number 16, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers project repairs 2023 and 2024, the certification of the lands and authorizations. So, Jason, there's a couple things that need to be repaired on the flood control project. So you can go into detail, Jason Anderson.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So during some routine inspections and reviews of our flood control project, staff identified some areas where there's some future concern for us with washing out along the river, some of the armored portions of the river. The one identified as 2024 repairs is in Wayside Rest or Wayside Park. And I think there's another drawing that goes a little closer, Stephen. This is the second spot, so if you go to the next page, it's the first one. Just on the tip, the edge of the weir wall, the concrete wall that's in the park there, there's a gabion mattress down by the river that protects that slope. It is undermined. The river kind of cut a path, plan east of the curve there by that WO2. The water cut a different path and it started to kind of attack the end of the gabion mattress, so that armoring is washed out behind it and kind of settling in. So we're concerned that it's going to start to erode towards the wall. And then the other location, just a little bit downstream, there's some washouts occurring behind the armored portion of the bend on the river, and that's starting to fall into the river. So, Eric Hansen on our team has done a lot of work with the Corps. We've worked with Alex Peterson to do some drone visuals to help send information to them. They came down a few months ago and did some inspections and reviews with Greg Swanson, Eric Hansen on our team. And we've determined that these are eligible for federal participation under Public Law 8499. We're connecting these washouts to some high water events in the river, which triggers the federal participation. So it's our understanding that this will be eventually, when we get this done, a no cost to the city type of project. It'll be all federal dollars, similar to the project we did a couple years ago in a couple other locations nearby here, actually. If that changes, we'll certainly let the council know and talk more about that. But this here is a certification of lands and authorization of entry, essentially. So we've been working with our city attorney and her office to help us certify ownership of all the property. We're not quite done with that, but we're confident we'll get that taken care of soon. So we are asking for the council to authorize our execution of this document and authorize the city attorney to sign her portion as well, so we can continue to move forward with the Corps of Engineers on this repair project. I don't know if Pam has anything she'd like to add, but I think that's all I've got unless there's questions.
So the short summary would be Corps of Engineers will make the 2 repairs at their expense. This would authorize them to be on city-owned property to do those repairs.
Correct.
Okay. Pam, do you have anything you want to add?
I have no comments, no.
Questions the council has? I think the only input or the comment I would make is we're fortunate our engineering staff and public works staff are really watching this so they can identify a potential risk before it becomes a problem. So, so thank you. Is there a motion to provide the certification of the lands and authorization?
So move.
By Craig,
I'll second.
seconded by Amanda. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. Agenda item number 17, consider appointments to boards and commissions. The Public Housing Commission right now is down 1 member. John Elkhorn serves as a liaison. They are in need of a full complement of the membership at this time. And so I would recommend that John Elkhorn, as council member, serve as the voting member until such time that a member is appointed by the city council, interviewed and appointed in our normal manner. And at that time, then John would revert back to a liaison. So I'd offer that as a recommendation, entertain a motion of the council to affirm that recommendation.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by C,
I'll second.
seconded by Amanda. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. We'll note the 2 abstentions. Okay, we'll move then to Commission Board Liaison Reports. Greg?
The Airport Commission met last Monday, and I was unable to attend, but think we discussed some of the key issues at the work session earlier that are in front of the Airport Commission currently. That's all I have.
Okay, Amanda?
Library board met today at 4 o'clock, but we had a work session, so I was not able to attend.
Can I add something from the library, though?
Yeah, absolutely.
So on Friday, this past Friday, the library, I believe the foundation has a program where trees can be installed. And this is like a ash tree replacement. So our parks crew started installing some of those trees. I think there's about 10 or 12
Yeah.
trees that were installed at the library. And these are all around the perimeter, and eventually they'll replace those, will grow up and replace the ash trees that are currently there. So it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Amanda?
I have nothing.
Okay. From my standpoint, two things. First off, the Southwest Regional Development Commission will have their monthly meeting this coming Thursday. I also have been serving as the representative of the city for the Redwood River One Watershed, One Plan project. So that, and then Jason has served on one of the committees, not the steering committee of that. So today, well, first off, this process started in May of 2024, and it's really looking at planning for the entire watershed, whereas the river goes through multiple counties, and rather than each county doing their own planning, have one planning process for the entire watershed. So there's been this process that has been gone through, and they're now at the point where they have the report, the plan completed. They had a public hearing on it today, and following the public hearing, the policy committee did adopt the plan and recommended that to the Board of Water and Soil Resources, which actually provides the final approval of what the plan is. I go into that detail because one of the things that will be required by the Board of Water and Soil Resources is a resolution acknowledging the participation of each of the counties in there, in the watershed, each of the soil and water conservation districts, and then each of the larger cities, including Marshall. So probably at our next meeting, we will have a resolution of that acknowledgement and support. It has to be submitted by sometime in December, so that'll be coming. That's all I have. John?
The public housing met today during our work session, so I wasn't able to attend also.
And C?
I was not able to attend the Adult Community Center meeting last week.
Jim?
The only thing I have, everybody keeps pointing at the screen, it's like, I just have a bunch of words in mine. Mine did not meet, but I'm gonna remind people again, that I reminded last week, there's a rate increase public hearing at the MMU office on November 19th at 4:30 PM. They give the information why there's a rate increase, I believe it's on both sewer and water. So I'm getting the information out there, so it's a public hearing on the rate increase for MMU, November 19th at 4:30 PM. That's a week from Wednesday, if I did my math right.
Okay, thank you.
At their office?
At their office, yep, at their meeting room.
Okay, we'll move then to council member individual items. Jim?
I have nothing tonight, besides it's chilly outside.
C?
I have nothing.
John?
Nothing.
Craig?
Nothing.
Amanda?
Nothing.
And Amanda?
No, nothing.
Well, the only thing I would have, and I think other people could have said this too, we ought to congratulate the Marshall volleyball team, state champions, 10th time, so congratulations.
I do have something, Bob.
Craig?
Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Yes.
So in honor, I know a number of us have veterans or active duty in our families, and so just, think about those folks tomorrow. Should think about them every day, but we'll think about them for sure tomorrow. Thank them for their service.
Well said, and thank you, Craig. We'll move then to staff reports, starting with City Administrator Hanson.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Jason?
Not too much to report, just would note for the council that we have a public informational meeting on November 18th at 5:30 in these council chambers. for the High Street residents for that reconstruction, proposed reconstruction project. So we do that every year for all of our projects as a preliminary meeting to let them talk openly and not feel like they have to come to council at an open hearing, at a public hearing unless they'd like to. So public informational meeting out in front of the public hearing that we scheduled tonight for the last meeting in November. That's all I've got.
Okay, very good. You want to give an update on Highway 19 opening?
You know, unfortunately, I don't have a strong update. We did reach out to RNG to sort of talk that through, and they keep saying mid-November. So I know they're working hard and diligently trying to get all the minor work completed yet, but mid-November.
Okay, thank you. Pam?
No, nothing.
Okay, then we'll move on then to the remaining items on the agenda this evening, which includes our information items, the public housing minutes, our administrator brief for council's review, our listing of building permits, and our listing of upcoming meetings. Is there anything else to come forward at this meeting this evening? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
A motion.
Motion by Amanda,
Second.
seconded by C. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. And we'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. We are adjourned.